When Elon Musk speaks of the future, the world listens. His visions for SpaceX have painted a picture of humanity as a multiplanetary species, with Mars as our first stop. However, this vision might be tethering us to an outdated dream, when the real frontier lies far beyond our solar backyard. Here's why Elon Musk's focus on colonising our solar system could be a strategic misstep. The idea of colonising Mars or mining the asteroid belt excites the imagination, but it's fundamentally limited. The solar system, vast as it is, offers environments that are incredibly hostile to human life. Mars, with its thin atmosphere, radiation and cold temperatures, presents a survival challenge, not an expansion opportunity. Even if we overcome these hurdles, what then? We're still confined to a single star system with finite resources, and the ever-present danger of something occurring from the sun that would wipe out all life in the solar system. Contrast this with the potential of extrasolar space exploration. New worlds, new beginnings, the discovery of exoplanets, especially those in habitable zones, offers not just a place for humans to live, but potentially life in forms we haven't even imagined. Each new star system could hold unique resources, life forms, or even civilizations. Technological leapfrogging. Focusing on extrasolar travel pushes the boundaries of physics and engineering far beyond what's needed for interplanetary travel. The technological advancements required to travel light years could revolutionise every aspect of human technology, from energy production to material science. The survival argument reimagined. Musk's argument for Mars colonisation is about species survival. However, putting all our eggs in the solar basket doesn't safeguard against cosmic events like a supernova, or eventually the sun's death, or even a major solar eruption. Extrasolar colonisation spreads humanity across the galaxy, a true insurance policy against existential threat. Challenging the feasibility narrative. Musk's approach with SpaceX has been about making space travel affordable through reusability and innovation, yet the focus on refining technology for Mars might be way too conservative. We need quantum leaps in physics, directing resources towards propulsion systems like antimatter drives, or even theoretical constructs like wormholes. Might seem like science fiction, but so did landing rockets upright not long ago. The quest for interstellar communication. Developing technology for extrasolar colonisation could lead to breakthroughs in communication, perhaps even finding a way to overcome the so-called light speed barrier for information transfer, a crucial step for managing interstellar civilization. And then there's the ethical dimension. Colonising Mars or any other planet in our solar system might inadvertently contaminate potential indigenous life forms or disrupt pristine environments. Extrasolar planets, especially if devoid of life, provide a cleaner state for human expansion without the moral quandaries of disturbing extraterrestrial ecosystems. To conclude, there needs to be a shift in vision. Musk's vision has always been about pushing humanity forward. However, in the grand tapestry of the cosmos, focusing on our solar system might be akin to perfecting the sail when the age of steamships beckons. The real challenge, the true frontier, lies in crossing the interstellar void. By redirecting efforts towards crossing these vast distances, we not only fulfill the human spirit of exploration, but also ensure a legacy that spans across stars, not just planets. This shift in focus from refining solar system technology to breaching the extrasolar barrier could define the next great era of human achievement. It's no longer good enough to shoot for the moon.
Stars blinking out of sight. First steps in space we say, but feels like a charade. Lights and wires everywhere, on a stage huge beyond compare. Gravity, a distant thought, was this moment store-bought? Is this real or fantasy? Walking in a galaxy, lost in cosmic reverie, dreams turn into parody. Footprints on the moon's face, questions we can't erase. Cameras at every turn, truths that we patiently spurn. Silent void, a grand display, lines that blur and lead astray. In a vacuum, tales are spun underneath an artist's sun. Is this real or fantasy? Walking in a galaxy, lost in cosmic reverie, dreams turn into parody.
Good evening, one and all. How are we today? Right, let's dig into this. I don't know if you watched the preamble there, which was a separate video that was put up earlier on today, and it was your homework, so you should have been there and you should have looked at it. I think Musk is. I've always thought Musk is going down the wrong route. What's the point in going to Mars, right? I mean, I understand what he's trying to do. He's trying to get us off planet. There's, a better chance of us surviving a cataclysm on Earth. And let's be honest, there have been many, many cataclysms on Earth. But I don't know why. I don't know why he would want to go to Mars. Because one, it's not that far away from Earth. And I say that in general terms. But what's it got? What's it got for us that's any use? It doesn't have an atmosphere, or it doesn't have an atmosphere of any real great substance, which is going to cause a big problem with cosmic radiation and solar radiation. So we can't live on the surface unless we've got lead-lined domes. So we need to dig down underground. So we're going to have to be living in tunnels. Well, so does it matter if we're on the moon or on Mars? What's the difference in real terms? What's the point? What's the point in going all that distance then when we could do the same thing on the moon? So I see no point in going to Mars whatsoever. None whatsoever. You're not going to terraform the planet. It's never going to be any use to you. You've got minerals galore on the moon. You've got water on the moon. But why not just do it on the moon? And then if you really wanted to seed the solar system, then Titan is the obvious choice. It's a hydrocarbon-rich moon that's got a thick atmosphere, mainly of nitrogen, which is going to help you from the point of view of cosmic and solar radiation, so you can then live on the surface, albeit in domes. If there's a handy source of water right next to you in Saturn or the rings, or even on Titan itself, if you crack the hydrocarbons that are there. And it's got a ready source of fuel. So Titan's a no-brainer if you want to do it in the solar system. But this isn't the point. The solar system's no use. And Elon Musk should know this. There's no point in just seeding the solar system. So what's the point in spending all that time and money going to Mars when you could do it on the moon? You could prove your technology on the moon. And let's face it, this isn't new technology. This is shit, old, ancient technology. So as I said in the video, it's like fucking about with sales when people are building aircraft carriers. I mean, really, you could build a robot or a sailboat out of wood, go sailing on it quite successfully. But your neighbour might be building an aircraft carrier and flying a squadron of F-35s off it. So why? Why bother? Unless it's just for fun. But if you really want to survive, you've got to get out of the solar system. And getting out the solar system isn't going to cut it with a fucking rocket engine. I mean, come on, Elon, it's not rocket science, because a rocket engine's not going to take you out of the solar system. So you need something better. You need to think about something better. You need to develop something better. And you need to get out there and do it. So why bother? Is this a tax write-off? Because I can't understand why spend so much time and money in trying to take people to a planet that's of no consequence whatsoever to you. Mars is never going to be a second home for humanity. It's a shithole. What's the point? And I've said that a lot already. Maybe we should have a drinking game. What's the point? Oh. Yeah, we're not going to talk about real world well, we are talking about real world stuff because this is probably realer than the shit that goes on in the world, with our different celebrities and the cult of celebrity and people doing stupid things because other people do stupid things and people get dragged along with it and then think they're brilliant, then suddenly wake up and can't remember the last 3 days except their arseholes now the size of the fucking Clyde Tunnel. I mean, really, come on, people. Don't get taken in by all this shit. What's the point? Drink. Mars is a bonkers idea, Julie. It really is. I mean, I've been banging on about it for ages and I've always said Titan is a better choice. But when you actually think about it, there's no point. There's no point in trying to get to anywhere in the solar system. No point whatsoever, because if you want to save the humanity, if you want to seed the galaxy, if you want to seed the universe, if you want to be the ancients, like that first one I did ages ago, or 2 weeks ago now, if you want to be the ancients, you got to be out there. You got to get out there. And it's like I said, what looks like science fiction right now could be reality in a few years' time. So you should be working on faster than light travel, near light speed travel, methods of suspending life or extending life while not aging, because if you're going to go in space and not travel at the speed of light or sublight, then you're going to take a long time to get anywhere. So you really don't want... what's the point in being awake for 4 years, which is the nearest star system? What's the point of being awake for 4 years if you're traveling at light speed? You really want to be in some kind of cryo sleep or suspended animation or whatever. And yeah, people mock at these ideas, but why? Why? Because, if we were back to the 1800s, people would be looking at what we do now and going, oh my God, these guys are sorcerers. They're magicians. So can't be that hard. So don't waste money putting it in to building sailboats. You're Don Quixote, Elon Musk. You're Don Quixote. You're running about tilting at windmills. And yeah, it looks great. It sounds great. You think you're a great guy, but you're wasting your time. And you're wasting our time as well. Why bother? Why bother? What's the point? So, anyway, I think physics is the problem, because physics has been co-opted by mathematicians. So instead of physics looking at real world problems and dealing with real world issues, it's descended into a game on a blackboard or a whiteboard or whatever you want to call it these days. So the problem is physics, and physics is ruled by one or two people at the moment, which is quite sad. And we as non-physicists or non-trained physicists don't really have a clue what's going on. Now, I dabble in it, but I'm not in any kind of informed position to actually criticise what actual physicists are really doing. But it would seem from the outside that very few of them are doing anything, because they're all plodding about looking at stupid theories that patently have no substance. I mean, you can look at things and think, well, that just doesn't make sense. And a physicist will say, well, it does make sense if you look at what this, and this does. But then again, you then start looking at things that happen in the real world, and it's like things like electricity. Because if you went to school and you did physics at school or even university or whatever, they kind of teach electricity as electrons flowing through a conductor and each electron passing its charge to the next. Well, that's bullshit. Electrons don't flow like water. You can't turn the tap on and off. You're making a switch and making a circuit doesn't help you to understand how electricity works, because it doesn't work like that. It's a really... Nobody fucking knows how electricity works. That's the problem, and I've been through this on a number of occasions. It's like, well, what happens when you recharge it? What happens when you recharge your phone, right? See that big ring there? That's a magnet. You put that on a wireless charger and it recharges. So there's no electrons flowing from one to the other. There's no connection. There's no physical connection. And the phone doesn't get heavier when it's fully charged and lighter when it's depleted. Batteries don't get heavier when they're fully charged and lighter when depleted. So nobody understands electricity. And if we don't fucking understand electricity, which is something we use on a daily basis, what chance have we got of understanding how to go faster than light? Unless we really put resource into it. So stop building fucking rockets and start doing proper science. And this is the problem with science. It has, as I said, it's been co-opted. Physics has been co-opted by mathematicians who sit there drawing equations that mean fuck all. They come up with stupid theories that mean nothing. They talk about things that can't possibly exist, like gravity. How can you have a wave in space when space, by virtue of being space, can have no fucking properties? I mean, it's supposed to be an empty vacuum. So how can it have properties? So how can you have a wave in it? It doesn't make sense. I mean, they did away with the ether, remember? So if you do away with the ether, you can't have a gravity wave because there's nothing for it to wave through. There's no medium for it to travel in. And that's why they had to come up then with photons for light. Because if a particle can travel through a non-medium, right? Well, yeah, it can, I suppose. A vacuum. But if it's a wave, which it actually is, how does it propagate through something that has no properties? How does gravity work even? And nobody understands how gravity properly works, because you can't bend space and time if space doesn't have any properties. This is the part where it's so fucking obvious that you're thinking, what are these people on? How can you bend space and time if space doesn't have properties? I asked the question and I don't get any replies. That's the problem. So good evening, Julie, Adam, Shalini, Vaughn, DW76. Who else we got? Amy and Dystopia. I'm drinking Hardy's Crest Sauvignon Blanc. It's on special. I only buy on special because I'm cheap. I'm Scottish, I'm cheap, and I'm inherently lazy. I'm drinking it out of a Jack Daniels glass because I like the glass. So there you go. So there we are. I was off the booze, but have you seen what's going on in the world, Shalini? It's like, why punish yourself when there's a good chance you might not be here tomorrow? Yeah. So yeah, and Steve Vaughan saying IO in Europe and not. Well, yeah, IO in Europa are great if you want to stay in the solar system, but again, what's the point in staying in the solar system? Because if the sun goes burp, everyone's dead. Doesn't matter where you are. So why stay in the solar system? You've got to get outside the solar system. You've got to be spread across the galaxy, really. And even then, you really want to be in other galaxies as well. If you want to continue to exist as a race, and some might question, do we deserve to continue to exist as a race? Which is a damn good question, and maybe one for another night. But yeah, so I think Elon Musk is wasting his money. He's just completely wasting his money. There's no point in continuing with rockets. We've done it. Yeah, okay, yay, you can send a rocket into the sky. Allegedly, you can send one to the moon. If you can send one to the moon, go and build a base there, right? That's cheap. That's going to be cheap. What's the point in going to Mars? What is the point? Drink. Mars offers nothing for us that the moon doesn't. And staying in the solar system offers us no chance of survival if the sun goes burp. So yeah, Elon Musk is completely wrong on this, and I've tried to tell him. He's not listening. But like most ostists, he probably won't. Doesn't matter if they've got an underground bunker, Amy. There's nothing. There's going to be fuck all here. You can ride out anything you like, but there's going to be nothing left. That's the problem, right? So yeah, okay, you might survive initially. You come out and there's nobody to do anything for you. And let's face it, I don't think Musk could even start a fucking fire on his own, right? So you're left on your own to fend for yourself, and there's nothing left. Who's going to farm? Who's going to eat? Who's going to hunt? Will there be any animals left to hunt? I mean, it will be a miserable, miserable existence. What's the point? So yeah, I'm not trying to be down here. What I'm trying to say is Musk is spending his money in the wrong place. He needs to get into hard science. He needs to start encouraging people to think about solutions to actual problems instead of shooting for pie in the sky. I mean, really, if you sit back and think about it, there is absolutely no point in going to Mars. We will achieve nothing, and all it will do is give the people that go there the extreme hardship and the survival test. That's all it'll do. It's never going to be an easy ride. If you go on a one-way ticket to Mars, it's going to be a shitty, shitty life. It's just going to be work, fear, dirt, and misery. That's all it's going to be. And you're going to be living underground. If you're lucky, you get an hour a week or something in a spacesuit to go out and look at the sun, which will look tiny. Because you're one, less of an atmosphere, and two, it's further and further away than it is here. And I'm going to play out when I finish with that fake X thing because I want you to look at it. I want you to look at the reflection of the sun in the Earth's atmosphere, right? Um, Allegedly taken from Musk's spaceship in orbit as they trialed out that spacesuit. And I've a few questions about that spacesuit, right? One, is it heated, right? Which is fine. If it is heated, fine. But how does it cool you down? Or is this why you actually don't see them going out the ship in the sunlight? Because they would cook like burritos in a tinfoil wrapper? Is that the case? Because, when the guys go out, and you got to give NASA their due here, at least it looks like they're actually built something around the guys to keep them cool. That's why they have those massive backpacks. But again, there's another thing that I can't get my head around. How do you radiate heat when there's no medium to dissipate it? How do you fuck about on the moon for 4 hours in the sunlight in a spacesuit that's going to be at what? It's getting sunlight. The ambient temperature is going to be like 270 degrees centigrade outside or something crazy. How do you radiate heat? How? There's no medium to carry the heat away. I mean, you could walk about with big fins on your back and it wouldn't radiate any heat because there's no medium. So how do they get rid of the heat? How do they do it in space? There's no medium to take the heat away. There's no actual particles of anything for the heat to transfer to. The big spaceship, says Amy. The moon. Could be. If you want to watch a movie, watch Moonfall. It's a freaking scream. Well worth a watch. In fact, I'm going to watch it again at some point and probably review it. I've been listening to a guy called Eric Weinstein, who's he was running Peter Thiel's venture management thing. He is a Harvard trained physicist. He's a mathematician. He's done a lot of shit, and he's a smug, slimy looking bastard. But I like him. And he talks a lot of sense. And he doesn't sugarcoat it. And I think that's worth a lot these days because too much is sugarcoated. Too many people tell you what you want to hear. It's... Yeah. So anyway, right, what we got? Any questions for me? Any questions, people? Graham Hancock has a new series next month. Yeah, he does. He's continuing on his ancient whatever it is. I mean, I quite like Graham Hancock. He's probably got a few things wrong, but haven't we all? He's an easy listen to, and he seems to be quite passionate about his subject, and he tells good stories. But I've been doing more research on my UFO series. But I've now had to move it to a 4K screen because I need more space. But yeah. I haven't really watched the Y-Files much recently. It kind of puts me off when he puts all that AI shit in. And I know it's quick and convenient and saves you time, but I just don't like it. There's something about it that I don't like. Maybe because it's artificial. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm coming more round to using AI as a tool especially music-wise. I actually quite like it music-wise. I mean, it wrote that Fake X thing. I just put the prompts in and it wrote all that. Yeah, we look into cryptids, Amy. Yeah, we've done quite a few shows on cryptids. In fact, we did one on Alaskan cryptids not that long ago. But yeah, we do cryptids. Yeah, we do everything. We look into everything. We do true crime. We do cryptids. You name it, we'll do it. Sluts. So that's I think I probably can't say much more about Musk, can I? I think his heart's in the right place to a degree, but he's not going about it the right way. He really isn't. He's just not going about it the right way. Cryptids are paranormal creatures, like Mothman, werewolves, that kind of stuff, Loch Ness Monster, giant snakes, all that kind of stuff. Skunk apes. What time is it? 2026. So what else has been happening in the world? What's happened today? Anything exciting? Tokoloshi. Yeah, Vaughn was supposed to come on and do an episode because he was going to go dig right into Tokoloshi. But still waiting. Still waiting, Vaughn. Doors open, mate. Doors open. The goat man of Kentucky. The goat man of Kentucky. Yeah. Musk is odd, yeah. That's what someone was saying about, these neural implants and things that he's going along. You got to remember when you get these things to enable, you ever considered what would happen if they flipped the switch the other way and disabled? Yeah. So suddenly you can see because you've got an implant, or you can walk because you've got an implant, and then boom, turn it off because you've been a bad boy. Yeah, that's possible. Tokoloshi will be a 7-part series. Sure it will. I disagree, Amy. I don't think Musk needs to concentrate on Earth at all. I think he needs to concentrate on proper science. And if you want to get off planet, which is ultimately the only way for the human race to extend beyond the time that the planet can support it, then I think you've got to go into proper science. You've got to push the boundaries, and you've got to discover things that we would consider science fiction right now. And I firmly believe that if you put your mind to it and work on it hard enough, then eventually you'll come out with a solution. Because it's like this whole UFO thing, and they're banging on about disclosure and all that just now. Well, if we don't have enough time, Amy, then we don't have enough time. But you've got to give it a shot, right? Because if we don't have enough time, it's not going to make any difference whether you put the money in here or not. So, and going to Mars won't save us. It would only delay things. She said she's not helping with any research, Vaughn. Is Tokoloshi an Alaska thing or a Hawaiian thing? Can't remember. They have hobbits in Hawaii, Shalini. That's the what do you call it? The cryptid in Hawaii. I think he does have a bit of a god complex, yeah. I mean, if you think about it, people that have got money, The more money they get, the more influence they think they have, and the more they think they can do. And even if they started out doing things for good, I think ultimately they can end up doing things for bad. And I think Musk could probably fall into the camp where he still thinks he's doing good, and maybe he is to a degree, but I think he's starting to go off the track now because he's following his own path that really isn't going to benefit anyone because he's too close to it. He's not going to step back. He's not stepping back and looking at it and going, who does this actually benefit? You know, if I go to Mars, who does it benefit? Because it doesn't benefit humanity. Or is it some kind of shapeshifter, Vaughn, or Tokoloshi? But yeah, rich folk are weird. Yeah, but that's the nature of having all that money. It indulges your weirdness, and look what happens to all these clowns, all these celebrities. You know, like Diddy and all that, and hundreds before them, like Savile and all that mob. It indulges their weirdness. I mean, I remember even Freddie Mercury indulged his weirdness because you get to the point where you've had sex that many times with women that you try something different, and you're starting down a different route. And then it just becomes more and more perverse and more bizarre. And before you know it, you're full blown living in 1930s Berlin. So yeah, I think indulging yourself too much can be really bad for you. Really bad for you. Oh, Tokoloshi is African, indeed. I don't know why. Why do you know all about this African thing, Vaughn? You've never even been to Africa, have you? God, here we go. I bet he comes up with some shite now. Oh, so yeah. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about Musk? Do you think I'm talking crap? Or do you think am I getting in the right general direction? He is a strange character. And I just don't know. The whole electric car thing as well, that's a massive white elephant, isn't it? We can't sustain that. You just can't sustain it because you can't, with technology as it is just now, you can't sustain it. So what's the point? What's the point? Because we can't do electric cars with the batteries we've got. So we either need better batteries or we need a different technology. So we shouldn't be getting too excited over electric cars. Yeah, he does get overexcited. I think he set his sights too low here though with Mars. I really do. Um Yeah, Amy says she likes Musk. He wants to help. I just don't think he's really helping. I'm not hooking my brain up to link. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is there anything else we want to talk about? What else has happened in the world today? No doubt I've made some stupid tweets on Twitter. Labour wants to govern until 2049, says Cabinet Minister. Yeah, okay, well, of course they do. Who's Eddie? Somebody called Eddie has followed me. That's good. Right, let's have a look at what's CPS decisions on Al Fayed and Starmer's role. That would be interesting, wouldn't it? Macklemore's "Fuck America" comment in Seattle. No. Angela Rayner's tough interview with Laura. Who cares? Berlin police arrest boy with Palestinian flag. Okay. Well, I think they'll probably do it both sides. Berlin. I don't understand why it's illegal to carry a flag. But hey ho. There's just so much shit going on in the world, isn't there? And it would be nice to be able to get off planet, but to get off planet, I think you've got to really get off planet. You really want to be able to travel to the stars, because the solar system's just not cutting it. It's not cutting it for me. I'd like to see us go further. And the thing is, something could happen, over the space of a couple of years, and somebody can make a massive breakthrough. And suddenly we're out there looking at real planets, real potential for moving to a different world and colonising it and starting again with a different kind of society, or duplicating the societies we have and ending up in some truly spectacular wars. Just think how much money you could make if you're an arms manufacturer and you've got an intergalactic war to fund. That's what's going to happen if we go out and seed the galaxy. We're going to end up with, Lockheed Martin, Alpha Centauri division, making Lockheed Martin Alpha Centauri division made a fortune today while funding the war between Beetlejuice and it's just ridiculous. That's what we should be doing. We should be reporting on we should be reporting daily on the stock prices of arms manufacturers and seeing how much they climb during wars. That might be worth having a look at, actually. Could maybe do that. Because we know who they are. BAE, Lockheed Martin, who else? McDonnell Douglas, or it's not McDonnell Douglas anymore. Boeing bought them, didn't they? Yeah, we could dig into the arms manufacturers and see how their stock prices have done over the last, let's just say over the last 3 years, and see what's happened to their stock. Because I bet they've not gone down. Yeah. And it's like, this is like, it's like one of these problems, and, that guy Eric Weinstein described these as owned problems, right? So conflict in the world is an owned problem. And because it's an owned problem, nobody's going to fix it. Because the people that own the problem are the arms manufacturers, and they have no incentive in reducing the amount of fighting you do. So they're there lobbying your senators and congressmen and whatever to continue, supporting countries that are fighting for freedom. I hate people that do that, but, so they're out there lobbying for that because they know that they can sell arms to them. And because, they can only sell arms to allies, America's got to be friends with lots and lots of people. But they're not really friends, they're just like casual acquaintances that is marriage or convenience for the corporation to make money. So again, an owned problem, and the same with Big Pharma, an owned problem. It's like they say, a patient cured is a customer lost. So where's the incentive? Where is the incentive for these people to cure patients? Even look at the NHS. If you're managing an NHS trust, where's the incentive for you to cure people? If you cure people, you'll have less people visiting and using your service, so your budget will get cut. So you'll have to lay people off and less people with jobs because you're doing a good job. So where's the incentive for you to cure people? But it's a vocation, I hear you say. Bullshit. If it's a vocation, doctors would not ever, ever go on strike. Nurses would never, ever go on strike. Another owned problem. The NHS itself is an owned problem by the NHS. It has no incentive to cure people. What do you mean I could travel like Timothy Leary? Do you mean like jumping from subject to subject? I'll take that as a compliment, Amy. I'm not sure. Raytheon, yeah, Raytheon's a good one. Aye. What do you say to people who think that space exploration is just a massive money laundering operation? Oh, what? That's a good question. I think space exploration is a waste of time at the moment because we've nothing new to test or prove. I think the only thing that would be of any benefit is to put some kind of settlement on the moon, which would give you the ability to get some stuff off world, like seeds and data, whatever, and have a small colony of breeding humans. And that sounds horrible, but if you have a population of breeding humans on the moon and the worst happened to the Earth, you could come back and repopulate. So why? And the moon's pretty good because it's got all these big holes in it. It's a bit like cheese, so you could go down and use the regolith and all that as protection from anything that happens. So you would be living. I mean, you'd be living underground in the moon anyway because you can't live on the surface because of the radiation. So yeah, I think basically the ISS is a waste of time. No point. No point in the ISS. That's learning. We're learning nothing there. What's the point in a low Earth orbit space station? And I don't understand how these guys get away with not dying when there's a big cosmic event or a solar flare or something. What have they got? They must have a protected room. But what do they use to protect them? Because I can't see them shipping up tons and tons of lead. Yeah, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that individuals within, and let me clarify the NHS here, my comments on it, because the NHS is a very, very, should we say, laudable organisation. The whole concept is fantastic. Right? Free healthcare for all, free at point of use. It's not free because we all pay for it, but it's free at point of use. So it's a laudable concept, and I think the people in it are, many of them are truly, truly invested in it and think and know and do their best to help people. There are others that don't. But that applies to most organisations. And when you consider the NHS is the biggest employer in Europe, you're going to have some good ones and you're going to have some wrong ones. And there are wrong ones there. But that's not the point I was trying to make. The point I was trying to make was, as an organisation, as a manager, as someone sitting managing a whole trust, you've no incentive to cure people. Yeah, by all means, keep them alive. But you have no incentive to cure people. Because if you cure them and they don't need your service anymore, right, then you've lost a customer. And if you lose customers, you lose funding. That's the point I'm trying to make with the NHS. But yeah, yeah. It does that. All these things need cleaned up. All these government organisations have grown. They've grown out of control now, haven't they? I mean, they've grown beyond their capabilities, and it's like Ben used to say. You know, there are people in the NHS whose job is to create the art. Come on, really? I mean, uh, why can't someone that does the admin just do that on one day a week? You know, we'll go and pick some art. You don't need to be a fucking genius to go and pick art to put in a hospital. It's not an art gallery, it's a hospital. You just need to look at something and go, yeah, that looks nice and it's quite cheery, you know? Because, and dare I say it, you don't want to go down the Denver airport route of picking art. If you're trying to furnish a hospital, do you? With demon Nazis. Oh, yeah. So, yeah. Uh, I don't understand how, and I'm going to back to something Cellini's mentioned in the chat here. I don't understand why. First of all, why would Starmer, who is the blandest of individuals, so why would he even make this stance? But why would he pick a Siberian cat when you have a fucking whole war going on with Russia right now, albeit a proxy war at the moment? What? Why? Why would you do that? Why didn't you just get a cat? Why does he have to go and get a fucking £3,000 cat? Or was it a donation? Oh. So, oh dear, oh dear. Did Amy disappear? She never answered my question, did she? Whether it was a compliment that she said I go like Timothy Leary. Anyway, it's just that I just don't get the world right now, and it's the biggest one today. The most prevalent tweet I've seen today is lefties calling out the right wing media that are having a go at Labour and Starmer. And I'm like, hold on a minute. Hold on a minute. Weren't these the people that were singing the praises of the media not just, 3 months ago? You know, when they were calling out the Tories. So, when did the media suddenly become right wing? Because I kind of thought they were more left wing than anything. But now, apparently, according to all the lefties, the media is completely right wing. And it's like, what the fuck are these people reading or watching? It's like, I just don't understand it. And why are they so goddamn angry? It's like you tweet something, and it's like Starmer's. I mean, that tweet that I put out got some fucking traction. It was like over 300 likes on it now or something stupid. The one about, if as an elected representative of the people, you cannot walk among the people that you represent, then, yeah, something like that. Yeah, then you really don't have any kind of fucking mandate. And the lefties have been cracking up over it. It's like security. You couldn't do it for security, and I was like, hold on a minute. Corbyn fucking walks about London without security. And that guy could have been the Prime Minister, and I'm pretty sure he would have walked about without security. I think looking at it, the people that really need more security than anyone, the people that don't, the people the public don't like. Really. Because you saw Boris, I mean, for all Boris Johnson's a twat. And yeah, he did have security with him. But he would go running in that stupid in his underpants and polo shirt. So he would go running like that. And he'd probably have security with him, yeah. But when you see Khan taking his dog for a walk with fucking 3-car convoy of Range Rovers, it's like, what the fuck? Yeah, who's really the disliked one there then? Just mental. Yeah. So apparently that phrase that Kamala uses all the time, this unburdened by what has been, it's kind of got Marxist overtones. It was in a Marxist Bible or something. And basically it means, and it's not a direct translation because I think it was originally written in German. But it basically means that you wipe out what went before, so you're unburdened by what has been. So you just get rid. You get rid of that and you just move on. So it's not really that nice a phrase, is it? Maybe somebody ought to tell her that. And do you think she is thick? Or do you think she's acting? Because let's be honest, Boris Johnson is a consummate actor, right? He's nowhere near as buffoonerish. Buffoonerish, is that a word? But anyway, he's nowhere near as much of a buffoon as he purports to be. I mean, that is an act. That guy is an act. I'm sure if you got him behind closed doors, he'd be a completely different guy. Completely different. I think it's a persona that he puts on for the public. So is Kamala doing the same thing? But it's not working. Biden's isn't an act. Biden's is an illness. I'm convinced of that. Trump's is a bit of an act. And if you've ever watched, did you ever watch The Apprentice when Trump was on it? You know, not the British version, which is a poor copy with the East End barrel boy, Sir Alan Sugar. You're fired. But yeah. I think a lot of these people are actors. A lot of people are actors. I think every American's an actor. Without fail, every American is an actor. And they have this little story in their head. I'm convinced of it. They've got this little story in their head where they are the hero. It's like the last true action hero. Every American's head runs like that. They all run on Hollywood. And they've all got this movie going in their head where they are the fucking hero. Because when you talk to them, that's what comes out. Without fail. Without fail. You don't get that kind of... Even when you listen to people on Joe Rogan that are Americans, they don't come across as genuine. They really don't. Everyone looks fine here, DW. Remember, it might be you. Hold on. No, what have I got? Oh, I do have a couple of dropped frames. That's because I left my VPN on. Although YouTube's saying excellent connection. But yeah, what was the every American is an actor. Good grief, I've been getting through this wine. And it's quite funny. Next time you're in America or speaking to Americans, just watch them. Just observe. Because even if you're in a restaurant and you're getting served by a waitress, it's not the waitress that comes and serves you, it's a persona that she puts on. And I don't think British people do it to the same extent. I know the French don't. French just don't give a fuck. The French are just the French. Yeah. So, but I think that's part of growing up in America and being ensconced in Hollywood. I really do. I think they are all actors, unless you get like super intelligent ones, you know. Usually in hard sciences. But even then, those are harder to find because one of the points I was making earlier was I think science isn't funded properly anymore because it's funded by corporations that are looking for results, not looking for breakthroughs. And they're not looking for big breakthroughs, they're just looking for incremental things so they can sell you something that's just a little bit better. So you have to upgrade. But they don't want to make things too good because then they don't have any obsolescence. It's like Apple. I mean, Apple were crippling their old phones' batteries deliberately in software to make you buy new phones. And they got found out. That's not nice. That's corporations for you because what's a corporation's job? It's to maximize its profits for its shareholders. There's nothing in a corporation's, there used to be, but there's nothing in a corporation's raison d'etre that says they're going to have to benefit people. I mean, Google used to say, don't do evil. Well, how's that fucking working out, Google? Because between you and YouTube, you've done a shitload of evil. I mean, as I said, I remember, and I'm not harping on about it, but I really appreciate the people that did donate. Remember, they fucking stole over 200 quid off me in the last 2 weeks. And literally stole 200 quid because that's money that had already been earned. It's not like they went and gave the money back to the advertisers. No, they just fucking kept it. So that's not doing evil. I'd hate to see them if they were doing it. But anyway, there's going to be shake up in the channel anyway. I think we're going to be diversifying across many more platforms, including Rumble and Twitter, hopefully. If you're on this and you're watching this and you don't follow me on Twitter, please do. I'm trying to get over 500 so I can get to the point where I can monetize Twitter. Ed will be here next Thursday, Friday for Rabbit Hole and All In, and he won't be the one after, right? So there'll probably be some changes that week. That's probably when I'll start implementing them. Are you an American unmediated mind? That's interesting. I'm also going to start using Discord more, I think, for chatting off stream. Because then we've got the Discord service, we might as well use it. So there'll be some changes happening, people. Changes are happening. Yeah. I think that pretty much wraps up the evening. I've had a good chat. I hope you have enjoyed it. Now I'll play out with this, and you don't need to watch it if you don't. I think I really like this. I think it was quite a good an AI. The AI made the song and did the words. I mean, all I did is prompt it. I suppose the skill is in the prompting, but yeah, I'm going to play out with the fake X thing, and when you see the shot in the spaceship, and none of this was edited to make it look better. This is straight. These are straight shots from SpaceX, right? None of them have been altered. They're just completely taken off SpaceX's channel or website and just put up there. So none of them are edited. Okay. So yeah, I should put it up. My what's it called? Twitter thing. as that. So there you go. It's not, it's it's later. Right, that's my Twitter handle. Yeah, sorry, I missed the second well, I missed the because I put anyway, so that's my Twitter handle. But thank you for coming along. It's been great. It's been great for me. It's been lovely to talk to you. And I've had a good time. And have a look at the size of the sun's reflection, because when you're in space or on the moon, the sun should be tiny, 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 tiny. There's no atmosphere to spread it, right? No atmosphere to spread it, so it should be tiny. So when you're looking at it, it should be tiny, right? So why is it got this massive blooming reflection? Okay, because 93 million miles away, not close. It's not close at all. Anyway, as always, people, I think I can safely say it's been great for you.
Copy, rescue, 10 meters 1, watching from the nose cone. Stars blinking out of sight. First steps in space we say, but feels like a charade. Lights and wires everywhere, on a stage beyond compare. Gravity a distant thought, was this moment store-bought? Is this real or fantasy? Walking in a galaxy, lost in cosmic reverie. Dreams turn into parody. Footprints on the moon's face, questions we can't erase. Cameras at every turn, truths that we patiently spurn. Silent void, a grand display. Lines that blur and lead astray. In a vacuum, tales are spun underneath an artist's sun. Is this real or fantasy? Walking in a galaxy, lost in cosmic reverie. Dreams turn into parody. Is this real or fantasy? Walking in a galaxy, lost in cosmic reverie.